How about a bit of a chat?
Well, I've got Pat Trotter here, Pat, and it's nice to win a race on Melbourne Cup Day, isn't it?
That's right, Pete. Unfortunately, this year I didn't have a ride in the Cup, but I was pleased to win a race today anyway.
What did you do while the Cup was on?
Well, I was just in the room. The horse had 58.5 kilos, so I just had a cup of tea, and then I sat down and watched the Melbourne Cup.
Now, here's Sue's lads win. You're always up in the firing line.
Yes, today he began very well and was always handy, and throughout the race he travelled very well, and, you know, at no stage of the race did I think he was going to lose.
And yet I've seen him weakening here in similar races.
Well,
with lighter weights.
Well, this year it's a credit to Neil Hodgson. The horse has come back a lot better horse than he has been the previous couple of years, and if you had a look at him today in the mountain yard, he looked very well and strong, and you know, I think he'll go on to bigger and better things.
He's an underrated trainer, Neil, isn't he?
That's right. He's got about 9 or 10 horses in work. He doesn't like to have a big team, but you know, he does a very good job with them.
Do you ride work for him?
Yes, I'm his stable jockey. Probably with those horses I can be.
No wonder he has a nice short price.
Yeah.
This is an unusual shot of the straight six, the head-on shot. I'm not going to ask you where you are. You wouldn't be able to tell me, would you?
No, about there I'd be in front somewhere, but you know, it's hard to see with the head-on shot.
Yeah, he ran very truly too.
He went straight. You know, the last couple of years he's been inclined to want to hang in, but he ran at Geelong the other day and was very good first up run, and today he done the same thing. He's gone on.
You didn't have a ride in the Cup, of course, and what about the Oaks on Thursday, or the George Adams?
Well, at the moment, I'm a chance to get a ride for Bob Hoisted in the George Adams. I'm just waiting on that, and in the Oaks, I haven't got a ride at the moment.
Hope to see you soon.
Right, thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pat.
Peter Lovett and Pat Trotter following the running of the sevens. Now, the spectacle hasn't ended yet on this Cup Day out here at Flemington. Let's just look back around the course. Our various cameras around the course to pick up so many different sights. Here we go.
Well, what did you think about the result of the Cup?
Very pleasing. It was really good.
Obviously, you'd pick the winner.
No, we got places.
Oh, I see. Did you pick the winner?
Second and third.
Second and third. Happy. You're both looking tremendous. Did you go to a lot of trouble to get your outfits ready?
No, not really. It was pre-made already. Yeah.
What do you think is the most important thing about the Cup?
I don't know. Probably just everyone getting together and having a really good time.
And you've done that, have you?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Excuse me, I'm Yana Vitt from Channel O. I wonder if we could have a talk to you about how you feel about the result of the Cup.
Well, excellent, we won.
Yeah. Are we happy? How do you feel about the result of the Cup?
Marvellous, yes. We were very lucky. Fortunately, we did win. But it was my husband's punting method, I think, and a few helpful friends.
What about you? Were you important? You look tremendous. You look lovely. What's important? Is the social side of the Cup important?
Well, I think you only have to look at the car park to see the social side of things, but I think it's really a people's day, and that's the most important thing.
Why did you come? What was the purpose today?
Well, basically because so many friends were coming.
Tremendous. You look lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes, no. You look absolutely wonderful. Did you back the winner today?
No, I didn't, but of course Mr. Danny LaRue did. He's had a very successful day.
A marvellous day. My first Melbourne Cup. I've had a trifecta in one of the races, and I had first and third in the Cup, so I'm very pleased.
You have had a lot more luck than many of us today. What was the most important thing for you today at the Cup?
Meeting my lovely friend from Newcastle who interviewed me when I first arrived in Australia, because this lady has a lovely programme in Newcastle in Australia, and Bev was a great mate, and it was lovely meeting up again today, and I think she's brought me luck.
Some of us are lucky, aren't we,
Yes,
really?
we really are, and it's been a delightful day, and Melbourne has certainly turned on its very nicest weather and its best hospitality for all the visitors.
It's a lovely Cup Carnival, isn't it?
It certainly is, it really is.
Smashing. I love it because, you see, in England when we have the Derby and Ascot, it's a little bit snobby, and what I've enjoyed today was the great freedom and the joy of everybody, and the lovely fun hats and fun things. It's joyous, wonderful day.
You don't think we have any snobs at the Melbourne Carnival?
Not at all. They're wonderful.
We've not met any.
Oh, no.
No.
It's open and free and marvellous. I've had a joyous day. And the sad thing, I've got to go back to work tonight.
Yes, I sympathise.
But they're all there, but you know, so that's nice. But I've had 4 or 5 hours of marvellous time.
I sympathise. I hope you have a tremendous show tonight. Thank you very much.
They'll all be out enjoying themselves. I hope we get a few.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for talking with us.
You look so terrific that we've Phil, we've got to talk to you. We're from Channel O. We'd like a little interview about what you thought about the result of the Cup. Were we rolling?
Oh, we thought it was very excellent, really.
Right.
We're just very sad about Dulcify. But I think it's very good for Hyperno and also for the Fairdale Stud from New Zealand, from which we are.
Oh, you're from there, are you really? Yes. Were you hopeful when you came today?
Oh, well, we were not from the Fairdale, so we are from New Zealand. We brought Delma J over, and we're running her in the Oaks tomorrow, or Thursday. But no, we enjoyed the Cup. I thought it was a magnificent run by Harry White. I think he's an excellent horseman, and I thought Hyperno was a wonderful horse. I thought he was produced beautifully by Bart Cummings, and after his exhibition the other day, well, you know, he was a odds-on chance, wasn't he?
He certainly was. You look absolutely wonderful today for the Cup. Exemplary. Is that the way you think people should look for the Cup, can I ask you?
I think so. I think it's a wonderful occasion. I think we should dress up and put our best foot forward, don't you?
I certainly do. I agree with you.
A little bit more traditional at home, and we don't like to see old traditions go.
Is it conservative? Do you think more conservative in New Zealand than here?
Oh, I think so, yes. But still, they're pretty trendy over there too.
Are you happy with the sorts of fashions you've seen here?
Did you say there was some fashion here, was there?
Oh, you weren't happy. What's wrong with Melbourne's fashions for the Cup, do you
They're
think?
very beautiful. I think they're all very lovely.
No, that's not what you said just a moment ago. What's wrong with them?
Oh, you know, today's a bit of a fun day, really, isn't it? So you have to take it as you see it, and some of them are very, very nice, including yourself.
Jana Vent, Annette Allison and Marie Van Maren, thank you ladies for wandering around the course and picking out the interesting people. And at this point, let me just also have a personal thank you to the Black Pudding in Camberwell for giving us lovely food, the beautiful quiche Lorraine and thing we've been having. At least you've been looking after us. Thank you very much to the Black Pudding. And on that note, a commercial break before we head into the preparation for the next race.
Aegis Nikolaos is number 4. He did him.
Yes, well, I've been expecting this horse to do some good on occasions. He's failed me, but today they've reverted to taking the blinkers from him. They put them on Hyperno. Well, they've taken them off Aegis, and I think that he may do a little better this time.
Right, let's have a look now at number 7, Sky Boy, Ron, with Stephen Young.
Well, this horse in the mounting out is definitely the pick of them on looks. He looks an absolute picture and is a great credit to Ken Newman, his trainer. Must be hard to beat.
Number 8 is Dane Cairo.
Well, it could be Bart Cummings third for the day, being ridden by leading Sydney jockey Malcolm Johnston. Dan Cairo was a pretty good third when ridden by Peter Cook to Space Odyssey on Cox Plate Day, after running a fair 7th in the Toorak handicap on a wet track.
And next, number 10, Raspadora.
Racing in great form. He won at Caulfield, then he ran a very good second at Moonee Valley last start. This race should suit him, and he looks like being in the picture.
Well, that's given you a rundown on some of the fancies here in the final event on the program today.
Right, Phil, all is in readiness for that, and I think we'd better, before we get too carried away, before the horses get too close to the start, we'd better have a commercial break.
Businessmen shouldn't have to pay for kilometres they don't use, so Avis introduced FlexiRate. FlexiRate puts you in...
Firstly, feature double code I for Mighty Kingdom and Hyperno paid $1,954.85. Feature double code F for 18 Mighty Kingdom and 23 Hyperno paid $155.55. Michael Schulberger.
Thank you, Rob Asprey. Back at Flemington now. A special guest on this Melbourne Cup day. There are so many, but one in particular now I'd like to introduce you to. Prince Mishal bin Mohammed bin Saud, grandson of King Saud of Saudi Arabia and nephew of the present king. Your Royal Highness, welcome to Melbourne.
Thank you very much.
And how have you enjoyed this Cup?
I found it wonderful, very interesting. To this reason I fly over from Sydney to come to see especially the races.
Are you involved in horse racing yourself in any way?
Yes, in Saudi Arabia and France we have a lot of horses, and in Saudi Arabia usually we have even races for camels.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's something we haven't introduced here.
Yes. Maybe in the future.
Is this, had you actually sort of heard of the Melbourne Cup before?
Yes, I think it is one of the biggest and all the world that everybody know about it. I told you, to this reason I fly over from Sydney to here to see.
Cup day, and I'm joined in the box by Ray Warren. Ray, it's been a great Melbourne Cup day. Tragedy, of course, with Dulcify being so badly injured during the Cup.
Yeah, it's the type of thing nobody wants to see, Clem. I personally thought the Cup was marred by the breakdown of Dulcify.
It was, wasn't it?
I mean, Salamander and Hyperno, they've been around for a long time. Red Nose, nice horse, but, you know, he's not in the Dulcify class. I don't think Dulcify probably was going to win the Cup, let me say that. But as you said, it was a shame, and I believe it marred whatever else it was. It was going to be a great Cup with Dulcify possibly putting in his best effort in the straight. Yeah, it was a shame, but that's the luck of the draw. It's a Melbourne Cup, isn't it? He's been stripped very badly on both hinds.
Has he, right? Have you enjoyed the experience of your first Melbourne Cup?
I think I've said that about 4 times today, yeah. I don't know whether I want to go home. What's it cost to become a...
Well, you're welcome, Ray.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it, mate. It's been absolutely tremendous. Like, this is an excitement that isn't paralleled anywhere else in Australia, to my way of thinking, in sport. And I've seen the whole thing from start to finish this year, whereas I've never seen it before. Really fantastic.
Incidentally, the gentleman that bared his wares at Flemington between races is now heading back to the Huskow, so he'll spend the night there and face a hefty fine tomorrow.
You've copped the Bastille, eh? I'll cop
There's
the
always
Bastille.
one, isn't there?
I'll cop the Bastille if Double East doesn't win. I'll give you the tip.
Well, runners are going forward for the last event. Only waiting on a couple to go in, or one, in fact, Golden Key and Double East. Golden Key and Double East to come forward for the Great Western to end proceedings on 1979 Melbourne Cup Day from Flemington. I noticed an attendant taking a paper off the track too at the 200-metre mark. All in now. Set Dan Cairo in on the extreme outside. Ready. Hello, Aos Nikolaos, very towy. Hang on. Away they go. Taras Regent jumped out quickly down to the inside with Raspadora. Planned Escape was well away too. Blue and White is looking for the lead, but trapped out a bit deep coming to that first turn. They're followed then by Golden Key. Lord Greystroke going between runners. Getting well back out of it. Dan Cairo on the outside from Via Condeos, and then Willow Star. Aos Nikolaos is back third last, second last Neptunius, and last of all is Double East, about 10 lengths from the lead. At the 1200-metre mark and working its way to the lead is Commercial. Settling down into second place, Dan Cairo the outside, and then Tara's Regent. Blue and White was next. Raspadora back behind them, and then Planned Escape and Skyboy racing together. Private Talks going around them about 4 wide. 2 lengths behind that pack was Lord Greystroke, and then Aos Nikolaos taking off but very wide. Then in the centre was Black Mark, followed by Willow Star as they come down near the bend. Double East starting to go forward is second last, and last of all is Neptunius. Starting the long turn around the corner, 700 metres to go now. Commercial in front. Dan Cairo striding up on his outside. Private Talk out 3 wide. 4 wide is Planned Escape coming on the scene, and then Blue and White. Tara's Regent behind them, followed by Raspadora, and Double East taken off the fence back near the tail. Down to the 400-metre mark, and Commercial joined and passed on the outside by Dan Cairo. Planned Escape running on pretty wide. Blue and White looking for a run, but badly boxed up. Aos Nikolaos getting through the field, and so is Black Mark, and running on fairly down the outside is Golden Key. 200 metres left to go. There's 7 across the track. Aos Nikolaos wide on the outside, grabbed the lead from Tara's Regent. Black Mark and Blue and White is threading its way through the field. Blue and White grabbed the lead near the line, and Blue and White is going to just win the last. Blue and White has just got up the score in the last from Black Mark and Tara's Regent. Out wide are Aos Nikolaos, Double East flashed up, and then Dan Cairo, Skyboy. They're followed then by Golden Key. Raspadora next from Private Talk, Planned Escape, and then Via Condeos, Willow Star, Commercial, and last of all is Lord Greystroke. Great finish to end proceedings, Ray.
Yeah, it was a great finish. By gee, you've had some close ones here today.
It's been a tight day, hasn't it?
Leave me out of them.
I fancy Blue and White on the outside. You couldn't see Black Mark. He's pretty difficult to pick up on the fence, Ray. He was obscured.
He was punching up there in the last 100 metres, Clem, but I reckon you're right this time for sure.
Yeah,
Don't ask me for an opinion again, for goodness sake.
Fancy Blue and White in the photo. And Black Mark was getting through. Blue and White was checked too, about 300 out, so it was full of credit that if he has one, we think he has, from Double East got a long way back, Ray, and was never in the hunt. He was doing his best work in the last 50 or 60 metres.
I could be wrong, but he needs further, the way I see him. Yeah, he was winding up, but, oh, gee, I think he needs 2,000 at least.
On that run he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Number 5 has won the last. Number 5, Blue and White, ridden by Ronnie Quinton. That's a Sydney win, Ray. Ron Quinton on blue and white.
Well, there's no better jockey in the land than Ron Quinton, and I don't say that because I come from Sydney, and I'm not trying to be parochial, but Ron Quinton, I think everybody in Melbourne would appreciate, is a mighty fine jockey. A mighty fine jockey.
Well, there's blue and white in the... They're racing pretty tight at this point as we pick up the replay. Blue and white's locked in behind a pack of them. Dan Cairo, Tara's Regent. Black Mark's skirting through on the inside in front of Raspadora. And blue and white getting room now. A.S. Nikolaos grabbed the front for only about one stride. Now blue and white gets through. Black Mark near the inside. And blue and white gets there from number 12, who was officially second in the frame, Black Mark. And third was number 11, Tara's Regent in the centre. Officially fourth, A.S. Nikolaos on the outside. And fifth, number 2, Double East. And there's Ron Quinton bringing blue and white back. He's trained in Adelaide and raced with success in Adelaide. And here are the dividends pending correct weight. Number 5, blue and white, $7.50 and $2.20. Second, number 12, Black Mark, $3.25. And third, number 11, Tara's Regent, $5.80. The running double, number 7 and 5, $76.80. And the trifecta, $22,141.20.
Clem, is R. Quinton listed in the book? I've never worked from here or even watched a race. That's not Ronnie Quinton. There's no risk in the world. That's not
well,
R.
let's
Quinton.
have a peep down.
Who is it? I'm blowed if I know.
Might even be John Letts, but I'm not quite sure till we have a peep when they make that turn. Can't get a head-on shot. Pretty difficult on camera too. Now, very difficult to pick up the rider of blue and white in the last event. Somebody yelling a good on you, Ronnie.
Yeah, well, that's right. I think it's Johnny
John
Stocker, isn't it?
John Stocker it is. Thanks for that, Ray. John Stocker on blue and white in the last event.
It doesn't change my opinion. John Stocker's a mighty fine rider, and it was a great ride, but it's certainly not R. Quinton, that's for sure.
Now, a very good ride by John Stocker to thread blue and white. He's now domiciled in Adelaide too. He left Victoria after a great riding stint, winning the Caulfield Cup on How Now. And he's won the final event on Melbourne Cup Day on blue and white. And he's carrying the apt colours, of course, blue and white. 1:36.7 was the time, 1:36.7. Well, what else can you say? The Melbourne Cup Day has been a great day. We've had tremendous racing. The Cup itself probably the tightest photo in many a year. And it went to Hyperno and Bart Cummings, who's a genius, taking out his 7th Cup, and Harry White his 4th. So they've got it between them.
I think Harry White, in winning the Cup today, has either equalled or broken the long-standing record held by Bobby Lewis. Am I right?
You're right, Ray, yes. Tremendous effort, isn't it?
What a fantastic day, Clem, as the rider unsaddles and goes to weigh out on the last winner, blue and white. But what a great carnival this is here, and believe me, if you're an interstate viewer and you haven't seen Melbourne Cup Day, you've got to find enough pennies to get here and try it out. Incidentally, the Quinella on the last 5 and 12, $104.45. $104.45. Well, we've certainly enjoyed working with you over the past week, Ray. It's been a great experience. You've been at the tracks, you've been here, there and everywhere. I've been in everything bar the Davis Cup. Yeah, been round in everything, Clem, but funnily enough, you know, I came here thinking that it was going to be a long week, but it certainly wasn't, because we've been kept busy, but I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with you, enjoyed working with Phil Gibbs and the entire Channel O team. It's been a really great thrill, and I hope, and I know, that the Oaks Day coverage and the final day next Saturday will be just as good a coverage as this top effort the Channel O continues to pull out. Thanks, Ray, and we've certainly enjoyed your work on the Melbourne Cup. It certainly added a great deal to it. Your professionalism, and particularly the inside around the Flemington track, that I know that you put hours of work into. You saw that, did you? Excellent. Yeah, it was worth doing. I'd like to thank Mike Briggs, the cameraman who worked on that, and Brian back at Channel O, the film editor. They did a lot of work on that. You've left me out of the credits. Well, that's right. You were in it too. I'm sorry, yeah. Well, there we have the cobbers waiting for correct weight. Weight is their correct weight on the last. The numbers 5, 12 and 11. It's all yours, Mike.
That's correct weight. Yes, let me endorse those remarks too about Ray Warren joining us from Channel 10 in Sydney. Tremendous. Thank you for your help, Ray. And Clem, of course, you know that you get the congratulations from all of us again this year on the way you've handled, particularly the call of the Melbourne Cup. We should also make comment here that the crowd, the attendance out at Flemington today was 96,100. Now that in itself is a very pleasing figure, of course, for the VRC, compared to last year's 80,300. And there were those who thought that possibly with television now not so many people want to come out. Well, not quite right, is it? 96,100 is the crowd out here today. And there's just some of them. And they've had the ball all day today, from the early hours. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, they're out here getting ready for this, and they haven't slowed down for one moment. We, of course, thank the VRC for their tremendous cooperation in making it all happen. Particularly, you can imagine what it was like after the running of the Melbourne Cup, just in the mounting yard here and the activity. So to try and bring that all to you, we've, of course, had the tremendous cooperation of the VRC. We'll be back with a sum-up of the day's activities and the final statistics of the day, in case you missed them a little earlier, after this commercial.